Okay, so today's stretch, relax, meditate class, I would like to dedicate it to our precious back, especially to our spine. Our spine is this really incredible column or channel, right? It's filled with bones, vertebrae, filled with tissues, muscles, and ligaments that, of course, are holding our posture. It's also full of nerve channels that are holding our memories, they are holding our emotions. So through today's practice, I'm inviting you to pay this extra care and extra attention to the spine, and maybe invite your spine to allow to release whatever physical or mental blocks we are holding within. Of course, always with that mindful, compassionate, kind awareness to our body, to our breath. So, spine. We are going to start lying on our back. If you have a blanket, I have 2 pillows today. I have a towel. So having some props available, you can go ahead, lie down on your back. And give yourself some time to spread the back nicely on your mat. Start with your legs bent. And you can keep your legs here in this kind of parallel bent position, or you can bring your feet together and let the knees fall out. What you might do is you might also grab a couple of pillows, maybe support the knees. We don't want to create some super big tension in the hips. And anytime you need, feel free to go back to that neutral position. And then maybe open the arms out, palms up, which will help to open our chest. Take a deep breath in. Exhale through the mouth. Sigh out and allow your body to start relaxing to the mat. You're taking this 1-hour journey into your body, into yourself. 1 hour of self-care, allowing everything else around you be as it is for now. You don't have to fix or solve anything. You're just here with yourself, with your body, with your breath. So you can start maybe focusing that attention to your spine. You may visualize your spine if you want. Visualize your vertebrae and all the tissues and ligaments. If you want, if you do work with energy along the spine, you may visualize the flow of the energy flow through the nerves, the nervous channels. And maybe you don't really feel your spine, or it's hard to visualize it. That's okay too. Just remembering that all my guidance today was just an invitation. It's like an experiment. So opening your curiosity to sensations in the body and especially in the spine today. And then bring attention to your breath. Notice the breath flowing through the body. Notice the belly and chest moving with your breath. Every time you inhale, the belly and chest might gently rise. And every time you exhale, belly and chest would soften, relax down towards the spine. You can start lengthening and deepening that breath, breathing in through the nose and breathing out either through the nose or through the mouth as you prefer. So breathe in, fill up the belly, fill up the chest, fill up the whole trunk. Exhale through the nose or mouth. Allow the whole trunk to soften. Few full deep breaths like that in your own tempo. Deepening, lengthening the breath, but not forcing anything. The belly chest would expand and relax. And continuing here with that full deep breath. But maybe now really sending it to the spine. So every time you inhale, you're sending the energy of the breath directly to the whole spine. And maybe, just maybe, you can visualize that as you inhale, the whole spine lights up. And as you exhale, the spine kind of relaxes, and maybe as if you would have a dimmer on the light switch, that becomes all maybe a little subtle and darker. So inhale, light up the spine. Exhale, dim the light. And if this visualization is just not making sense for you or feels weird or uncomfortable, don't worry. Just keep that long, deep, full breath flowing through the body, through the spine. Maybe you're using the light, maybe not. Every time you take that deep breath in and out, your nervous system also calms down, switches to that parasympathetic nervous circuit. Okay, and now take one deep breath in and sigh out. Maybe you really leave a little bit of sound going out. And then if your knees were open, you can slowly bring them in. You can use your hands to help your legs come back to neutral. And bring your knees up to your chest. And then by pressing your hands to the knees and shins, just make small circles on the lower back. And this way giving some nice massage and maybe a stretch to those deep muscles around the lower back and hips. Our hips and hamstrings are connected to the health of our back. So we'll be also playing today with the hips and hamstring muscles. And then circle the legs around the other way. Notice how the contact of your lower back and pelvis changes. The contact with the mat and with the floor. And then release in the center. Now stretch your legs long on your mat and flex your feet, toes up to the ceiling. Bring your right heel or the Achilles tendon between the thumb or the big toe, sorry, the big toe and the second toe. And then open your arms out to the side, palms down. Again, trying to spread the back or at least the upper back as much on the mat as possible. And start lifting the right hip up. Go into a spinal rotation. So you're lifting the right hip up. You're moving the body to the left, but keep the shoulder blades on the floor. And then rotate the head to the right. Head to the right, right hip up, but turning the hip to the left. And then slowly return back to the center. Keep your feet as they are. And lift the left hip, sending the hips to the right side and the head to the left. And then flow through the center. Inhale, center. Exhale, rotate. So the feet and hip go to the left, head to the right. And through the center, inhale here. Exhale, rotate to the other side. Playing with the spinal rotation. Notice maybe where in the back or in the whole body you feel this movement. Remember, this is a yin slow class. So trying to go slowly, mindfully, gently. One more time. And coming back to the center, release your feet. Take a moment if you need to maybe shake your knees a little bit or whatever feels good. Take deep breath in and out. And then we do the same with the other leg. So the left heel or the Achilles part of the heel will go between the big toe and the second toe. Legs are long, spine is long. And we're gonna lift the left hip goes up, your hips turn to the right and the head turns to the left. And then you go back to the center and turn the other way around. Lift the right hip, hips go to the left, head goes to the right. If you want, you can again synchronize the breathing with the movement. Inhale, center, exhale as you twist. But if you want, you can keep your breath just flowing naturally by itself. So a few times. Again, notice what you feel in the back or in the spine or anywhere else in the body. Keeping the quality of softness as the main kind of goal of our practice. So returning to the center, release the feet. Take again, if you want, you can shake your feet or knees a little bit. Deep breath in and out. And then bend your knees and bring your feet a little wider than hips, as wide as your mat. Maybe if you want to adjust your pelvis, really lengthen the spine. And we're going to continue with twisting, but in this position. So the knees fall to the left, head to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, knees to the right, head to the left. And again, you flow in your own yin rhythm. Meditate in the movement, and if you want, really focus that attention into the spine today and be curious. How is the spine moving and feeling when I when I move my body like that. So maybe one more time, one more side. And then coming back to the center. Bring the feet about hip distance, so a little closer together. And now if you had a pillow or a blanket under your head, just take it away for a moment. We just need a little more space for the neck here. Bring your hips closer to your sit bones. Rest your arms down by your side. Press the feet into the floor and rock your pelvis so the pubic bone lifts up and comes a little higher towards your rib cage. And you press the lower back into the floor. So you're rocking the pelvis up towards you. And then you release it back to a neutral where the whole pelvis was parallel with the floor. And you can go even a little further and create a gentle arch under the lower back. Only if you don't feel tension in the lower back. And then again, go through a neutral, use your feet, use the pressure of the feet, and go to that imprint, go through the neutral to that little arch. And again, just be curious about how this movement in the pelvis, how it's affecting maybe the rest of the spine. What's going on now in the neck? What's going on in the chest area of the spine? Try not to correct anything yet. Yeah? Just really play with that exploration. And then just stop in a neutral pelvis position. And I'll try to lengthen the spine and try to keep the whole spine from the rib cage up to the neck long. And then again, tilt the pelvis towards you, rock it towards you, but don't allow the neck to react. Keep the neck nice and long. Press the feet to the floor and start slowly rolling the hips up off your mat into a shoulder bridge. But take your time to articulate all the vertebrae in the spine. Stop for a moment. Now in this shoulder bridge, let's try to soften the rib cage. Exhale, soften it down, creating a long line from the shoulders through the hips to the knees. Going down, try to go vertebra by vertebra, not the whole lower back at once. So as if you are keeping the pubic bone up, that tailbone will touch the floor last. You're opening spaces among your lower back vertebrae. And then you relax all the way to the neutral. And if you want, you can go to the gentle arch. And then press to the feet. Press the lower back to the floor and roll again, vertebra by vertebra. Don't rush. Slowly up to the shoulder bridge. And down from the shoulder bridge. So you can do all this moving, of course, with your eyes closed, and open that inner eye, the inner gaze, and curiously observe the sensations around the lower back. So few, maybe 1-2 more times without rushing, exploring this movement, keeping the breath just flow naturally, allowing yourself enough time to go deep, both with the movement and also with the curious mind. So slowly bringing the pelvis back down to the neutral position on your mat. And if you have a towel, grab a towel. We'll go a little bit more to the hips and hamstrings, as we said that those muscles influence our back a lot. Lifting the right leg up and putting the towel, it's like a yoga belt, around the right foot. And try to really ground the back now. Ground the both SI joints on the mat. And as you exhale, gently pull the leg towards your chest, creating a stretch in the hamstring, not going over any pain or tension, of course. And breathing here into the stretch. Also, if you want, if it feels more comfortable, you can go back and bring that blanket or pillow under the head. And stay here a few breaths. Explore the sensations in the leg, in the hips, and maybe also tap into the possibility of noticing how your hamstrings are connected to your back. If you feel any connection, physical or energetic connection. One more deep breath in and out. And then release and just switch legs. So the towel or the belt goes around the left foot. You can keep always the opposite leg and stay bent for a little stability. Keep that whole back long, ground the left SI joint, and gently pull the leg towards the chest without creating any pain in the hamstring. Every breath is really releasing the nervous system, and what's tight in our muscles, in our tissues, or in the spine. It's really the nerve cells. So as we release the nervous system, we also allow all our tissues to relax. And be curious again what every posture brings, whether in a form of physical sensations or emotions or thoughts. Using the mindfulness meditation to observe everything that arises, maybe from a little distance. One more deep breath here, in and out. Release. And then bring your knees back up to your belly. We're gonna go to a modified happy baby where we are gonna connect the feet together, open the knees out, and you can either use your towel or belt and wrap it around the feet, yeah, to help your arms and hands hold the feet. Or you can just grab the edges of the feet and don't force, don't push, just really allow the gravity to pull the feet down towards the sit bones. And explore now the contact of your back with the mat. And see if you can maybe lengthen your spine just a tiny bit without causing any tension, adding a little bit of more length. So as if someone would be gently pulling the crown of the head back and your tailbone forward. And here Just allow yourself to, again, go deeper with your attention to the spine. And if you want, you can go back to that visualization from the beginning. So you can direct the breath to the spine. And maybe imagine that every time you inhale, the spine lights up like a room. And as you exhale, you dim the light in the room a little bit. Doesn't have to go to a full darkness, full blackout. It's just there is always a little bit of light because there is always life happening in our spine. The energy keeps flowing in the spine. As you inhale, you can bring a little bit more light, and exhale, just dim the light a little bit. And again, if this doesn't work for you, don't worry. Just keep breathing in and out mindfully. So maybe 2 more of these mindful deep breath into the spine. In and out. And then allowing yourself that one deeper breath and sighing out. Slowly releasing the feet, the knees, bring the feet down. And grab again 1 or 2 pillows and place them under your bum, under your sit bones. So a little bit like lower part of the glutes rather than higher up. And stretch your legs open, creating again that gentle opening in the front of the hips. And noticing here that your spine created a gentle back bend. And we don't want a back bend that is tensing the back or constructing the spine or causing the vertebrae to just kind of push into each other. So if you need to adjust your pillows or take them out, maybe even this back bend is too intense. So feel free to do that. And take a journey to this yin pose. In yin yoga, this would be called the psoas position. But it doesn't really matter how we call it. It's opening the psoas, the iliopsoas muscle that is going actually from the rib cage, from the back of our rib cage, through the hips, through our pelvis, hips, it's being attached to our thigh bones. It's a muscle that's often tight and might create pain in the lower back. So giving our body some space and time to open that muscle, to release the stiffness, the blocks, the tension. Open yourself again to the exploration of the physical sensations, not only in the hips or in the back, but anywhere else in your body. Remembering that through this mindfulness practice, we are learning to hold everything that arises but we are also learning to recognize what is already dangerous for us and what we have to maybe move or change in the position. Like in life, yeah, it's wise to recognize what discomfort might actually bring us some new challenge, and we can grow from a certain discomfort, and what we need to walk away from, or walk away from a relationship or project or situation, conflict. So our yoga practice might give us this awareness, a skill to recognize what challenge brings us growth and what is already dangerous for us. So take again this deep breath in and sigh out, release. Slowly bend your knees and can lift your pelvis, remove, if you had any pillows, remove them. One more time, bring the knees up. You can just roll side to side on your lower back. So we are gonna move into sitting, but I have two ways how we can get there. You can just really keep it subtle, soft, roll to your side and sit up. Or you can actually play with the spine a little bit more. Lift the head and maybe start rocking. But remember, if your energy or the back doesn't like it, you don't have to do it. But you can, yeah. And maybe you can go ahead, make the rocking a little bigger, bringing some, again, sense and energy to the spine, and then go all the way up to sit. Okay. So from here, we are going to move to a cat position, hands and knees, all fours. Spread the fingers, gently press your hands to your mat. And then go ahead again to this slow flow movement of the spine. So first you can drop the belly, lift the sits bones, lift the chest and arch the back, look in front of you. Exhale, press the hands, knees, feet to the floor and round the back. So flow between these two poses, between the arching and rounding of the spine. If you want, you can again synchronize the breath with movement. So inhale, you gently arch, and exhale, you round the back. And go back to the spine with your inner eye and explore. You can visualize how it's probably moving inside, yeah, how the vertebrae are moving. And then just round the back. So stay here in the rounded back position. Move your hips a little bit back, but don't sit all the way to child's pose. And then from here, start lengthening or maybe gently arching the back and going forward, arching gently. And then as you come up, round the back. So rounding the back, moving the hips a little bit back, dropping the elbows down, arching, going forward. So creating a little bit of kind of a cat flow. And don't worry if you feel like, oh, this is too much coordination. Doesn't matter. Do it the way you want to do. Just move the spine however your brain makes it work. Explore the movement of rounding, sliding, arching. And then one last, going forward, going up, and then just moving all the way to the belly, all the way down, and going into a sphinx here. So pressing the forearms down to the mat. So we do need some muscle effort here, yeah, because we don't want the shoulders to pop up. That will just create tension in the neck. So we do have to press the arms down. So shoulders are working a little bit. And just tap into the stretch in the belly, open the chest. And you can, if your neck allows, if it doesn't create tension, look all the way in front of you. But if it's maybe too intense for the neck, it's okay. You can lower the gaze a little bit. Deep breath in and out. And take, again, a journey here into the Sphinx pose. Explore it. Don't worry that much about the position of your legs and feet and glutes and if you have to hold something or not. The only thing to be mindful about are the shoulders. So pressing the arms gently down, breathing. So now our spine is again in that back bend. So you can scan the spine with your attention inwardly. Notice what you feel in the various segments of the spine. So what do you feel in the lower back, middle back, upper back, neck? And again, if there is a slight discomfort, that's okay. Yeah, sometimes squeezing things and then releasing, squeezing, releasing creates better blood flow. So we'll squeeze and then release it. But if it's pain, feel free to adjust the pose as you need. One more deep breath in and out. So now we are going to release. And you can fold your hands under the forehead, rest the forehead. And you can wiggle the hips a little bit side to side. Release the glutes, release lower back. Bend your knees and then sway your legs and hips again side to side. So creating a gentle rotation. Again with the goal to soften, release the spine, release the lower back. Bring the legs back to the center, relax them down, and just stay here, completely relax for a few moments. Try to surrender all the muscles to the floor. You're not holding the feet, you're not holding the legs, the glutes, the pelvic floor. You don't have to hold the belly, the back, the chest. Relax your arms and shoulders and relax your face. And just enjoy this grounding posture. Connecting yourself with the earth. Grounding also the traffic in our head, as some say, comparing the thoughts to cars. So sometimes we have a traffic jam. Sometimes we have a lot of speeding cars, speeding thoughts. Sometimes the roads are quite empty. And usually these grounding poses like this crocodile or child's pose are helping to slow down the traffic in the head. Remembering, of course, that everybody's unique experiences and unique circumstances might also create unique traffics. Some poses work one day, some poses work differently another day. But you can explore that possibility that your mind is just slowing down. Take deep breath again to the whole body. Sigh out, exhale. Put your hands under your shoulders, come up to the knees and into child's pose. Another grounding pose. So you can keep your knees together or apart and ground the forehead either on the mat or on a blanket, or you can support the forehead with your fists. And notice your back. Breathe into your back. Breathe into your spine if you want. Child's pose is a wonderful pose for releasing tensions in the back. But of course, if you feel tension anywhere else in the body, remember you can support yourself with some pillows or blankets. And just be here, right now again. Grounding the head down, eliminating at least some of the distractions around us, the visual distractions around us. Turning our gaze inwardly, being with ourselves. Take again the deep breath in and out. If you want, sigh out. Staying in child's pose a little bit more, just stretching your arms in front of you and then moving your hands to the left side of your mat or just left side. You're creating a slight side bend now in the spine. So stay here for 1-2 deep breath and breathe to the right side of the body. Right side stretching. And then move the hands through the center to the right side, creating that length from the left hip to the left shoulder, left hand, and take a couple of deep breaths there to the left side of your body, left side of the trunk. And then return back to the center. Come up to all fours and sit for a few moments. We're gonna do a short sitting meditation, but if you don't feel comfortable sitting, you can also lie down. You can lie down on your back. Also, if you want to support your sitting, you can sit on a pillow or a blanket. And we are not going to sit for too long, few minutes, but anytime you will actually want to move, change the position, it's okay, of course. So taking some time, finding that sitting position comfortable, even though it's just few minutes, we still want to minimize the physical distractions. And start by just dropping attention down to your sit bones and to your feet. Notice yourself grounded, being supported by the floor, by the earth. And then just notice your whole body sitting here. Feel your whole body sitting. And bring attention to your breath. And now slowly again lengthen and deepen the breath like we did in the beginning without forcing anything. Breathing in through the nose, filling up the belly, filling up the chest. Exhale through the nose or the mouth and just feel the belly and chest again relaxing. So we are putting some effort to our breathing, lengthening, deepening, but not forcing it. It's still very gentle. Inhale, belly, chest. Exhale, release. Continue with the breathing and see if you can possibly breathe in. As you start breathing in, breathe to the coccyx, the tailbone, the bottom of the spine. That's where the inhale starts. And then as you keep on inhaling, you kind of take or drag the breath up the whole spine, all the way to the neck, all the way to the scalp. And exhale, take the exhale from the scalp, through the spine, back down to the tailbone. So like an elevator, as you breathe in, your attention starts at the tailbone. You're inhaling, taking the attention and breath up to the neck, to the scalp. And exhale, take the breath and the attention from the scalp down to the tailbone. Elevator inhales up. Elevator exhales down. So the breath and attention travels up and down the spine. Try a few more. Remember, if you feel that you are just pushing too much, whether you're pushing the breath or your attention, don't worry and release the practice. Breath goes up the spine and down the spine. And if you want, you can add one more element to this breathing in the spine. Every time you inhale, elevator goes up, the spine lights up. Every time you go down, you dim the lights. Don't go to that full blackout, not full darkness. Inhale, light up, going up to the skull. Exhale, gently dim the light as you go from the skull down to the tailbone. Couple more, experiment. If it's too much, don't push it, release the practice and just sit quietly. Up and down the spine, lighting up and dimming down. Okay, and now the one last. Now deep breath in. Sigh out, release. Okay, and then just slowly make your way down on the back, just for a few minutes of total relaxation. If you want, again, use a pillow or blanket under the head or cover yourself with a blanket. Spreading the back and the spine on the mat. And this is too much for me. I think I just need this. You can keep your knees bent and knock the knees together, or stretch the legs out to those front corners of the mat, to the full Shavasana. Open the arms, palms up. Never enough deep breath. So again, if you want, it's a signal for the body and the brain to release. So deep breath in and deep breath out. And now allow the breath to just flow naturally, freely, without you changing it in any way. No visualization or nothing necessary. Just soften down to the earth. Again, allowing all the systems in the body, all the tissues in the body, the nervous system, to put the puzzles together, integrate the movement, the breathing, the meditation, to that holistic healing process. Just keep resting, no need to move. I am sitting up, but it's just for me to talk a little easier. You keep resting for a few more minutes, few more moments. And then bring your attention again to your back one more time, to the spine, the contact of your back with your mat and with the floor. And take the deep breath in and a releasing breath out. slowly start wiggling your toes and fingers. Maybe stretching your body, certain way, stretching the arms if your body feels like it. Bending your knees and slowly rolling to your side. Not rushing even here in this transitioning process. So from the back to your side. And whenever you're ready, opening the eyes and coming back to sitting. Take one more moment before we continue with our day to maybe check in with the back and the spine as it's sitting here upright now. And then connecting your hands in front of your heart and bowing to your practice and to each other. Namaste.